All right, we'll talk about how to get little r from amortization tables. Now, when we talk about little r is the APR, that's the annual percentage rate. So the annual percentage rate. And it connects this one to this one. And you can say R divided by N divided by 100 times PV equals your interest rate. So this is your PV. I mean, the one below it's probably the FV. It depends where you want to stop. And this is your I. But you probably want to find R. It's often a question. So R equals I over PV times 100 times N. So for example, any of these pairs will link up. So any of them will work. Notice they drop down a line. That's very important. So let's try 9.43 divided by 754.65 times 100 times 4. Pretty damn close to 5% per annum. If you do a bit of rounding off, you'll probably find it works out fine. That's how you do it. You can use the financial solver on this. Now, remember you got these other pairs of numbers. So if you look at, you got 1,000 as your present value, and imagine you just went down one step to the 754.65. And that's what I've done over here on the financial solver. So I've gone one step, that's why my N is 1. And I've started at 1,000, and then my final value is just the amount of money I still owe. That's why it's still a negative here. So I've gone from, I borrowed 1,000, and 1 quarter later, in this one, I still have 754.65. I put my PY and CY as 4s. I put my payment in as negative. It tells me my payment over here from here, and I can press my I button and I get my 5%. That's another way of doing it. You should have a few strategies on how to solve things. Okay, we want to find R, and one thing I haven't told you is that the number of payments, this is all done fortnightly. Now in the next slide, I'll do an extra tricky case just in case that comes up on an exam, because you know they're running out of tricks, so they might try this one. Don't mind the cockatoos roosting in the background. Now, what we're going to do is any pair could work. So we could have this one, and remember it goes down a line to this one. That's a pair that we can connect up. Any of these pairs would work. And we know from previous things that actually R equals I over PV times 100 times N. So for this one, we're doing 1033.71 divided by 826,965.63 times 100 times N. And that's near enough as damn it to 3.25% per annum. Or you could have done it on the solver. And here I've said, okay, I'm going to start here and go down to this one. So just going down one step, and that's why I've said one step, going down, put in my payment as negative, knowing that the next step down is going to be negative. I've got my 26.5 fortnightly, hit the I percentage, I got my 3.25, or near enough to call it. So two different ways of doing it depending on how you feel. What if they told you that they gave you R and said that R is 3% PA, then what is your N? How frequent are your payments? I think this would be easier using the solver. Bit of guess and check. And it could be a good classic one from multiple choice. So I'm going to just do that classic thing. I'm going to start here, and then I want to get to here. That's one payment. So you can see I've just done this one, and they gave us the 3% PA, so I've put in my 3%, and I've put in my starting point, which is the 846,682.56, but I can't, there's no button to press here. So this is why I go do a bit of guess and check, because I can't press PY and get 12. Don't know why they didn't put that in the calculator, but what the heck. It'd also be quite hard though, because you've got the double value. So instead I'm going to put in 12 as a guess, and then press the FE and see, do I get this number? So our target we're trying to get to is this. So we tried out 12 and 12, and we didn't quite get there. So let's try it again. And all we're doing is just changing the PY and the CY. We got 26, 26. And again, this number here isn't quite the target there. I change it to 52, 52 and 52 here, and this number, yeah, it's pretty much as damn it to that one. I mean, it's off by 1 cent, but you know, roundings and all those kind of things happening. So in this case, I know that my frequency of payments is actually weekly, because that one worked out. All right, and that's just a nice little back trick of finding n. Just putting it in there could possibly end up being one of those annoying multiple choice questions this year. They're running out of tricks. Maybe this is one they'll try this time.